Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at Demon Ship, a micro game by Malev the Shinobi. This is the alpha rulebook printed by Blacksite Studios, and you can, I'm just gonna hold this up there, you can go check out the playtest of Demon Ship on their Discord. This was a free giveaway at, anybody did the demo at Adepticon this year, and I wanted to give it a review because I think there's something incredibly cool here. I like what Malev's doing. And I think this is I think this could kick off like a genre of miniature games, which are basically like bottle episodes of a TV show. If you don't know what a bottle episode of a TV show is, it's a TV show that takes place typically in a single room. They call it like a ship in a bottle. And this is the same principle, but for a miniature game. So it uses a reconfigurable room system to progress through different spaces on a mission to try and basically fix 3 parts of this ship. You wake up on, that's the MacGuffin, and then escape at the end of it all. So you progress through 6 rooms, you become more powerful. There's a small amount of bad guys and yourself. And it really has sort of like a Doom meets sort of like one of those old school 90s shooter vibes. Meets a Legend of Zelda dungeon. Does that make sense? Like the original Legend of Zelda where every dungeon's a room and you go through a doorway and the screen slides up and you go to a new panel. That kind of idea. Malev has worked on other projects. He worked on the Catacombs of Corral for Relic Blade, the solo and cooperative system. And then you can see some of the DNA here. And he's also partnered with Blacksite to make The Room. So it's a MDF kit that all boxes up together into like a single box when it's done. And then unpack. So you could play it anywhere. You could play it in a car, play it on a train. You could play it on on the fold-down table, on a flight, on an airplane. Like you can play this damn near anywhere. At the bar, and it could pack up and go in any size backpack or whatever to play with. So that's the elevator pitch. So let's talk about the actual gameplay and mechanics. So you set up a game of Demon Ship. You need a few components: a handful of D6s, 5 miniatures of token for your survivor and the enemies, and a way to represent the map layouts, whether either drawn or fully crafted. To begin playing, gather all your necessary elements before performing the first room. So first there's the power stage. The survivor's objective is to find the engine room and interact with the console and restore primary ship power. The emergency stage, the survivor is to find the nav bridge and interact with the console to engage emergency protocols. And then escape stage, the survivor objective is to find an unbroken escape pod and evacuate with the console and escape. So you're basically trying to do 3 different things over 6 stages. And those game phases are the room phase, where you set up the room, the wits phase, where you move and fight, and it uses an interesting dice mechanic. And all of the rules in this rulebook, by the way, are subject to change. This was a free pamphlet, and I love that it's printed like an album sleeve. Malev is a musician as well. He's a hip hop artist, and I love the fact that there's a musical influence in here where this could be an insert into a CD case. The wits phase, where you roll your action dice, and depending upon how you roll, it activates either the adversary or yourself. So, and as you take damage, the amount of dice you roll starting at 3 goes up to create like a random wits encounter. So there's an element of unknown and an element of tension in the wits phase. And then finally, the game ends. So the pulse is your most important mechanic. Your survivor starts with 3 health in this core and 3 pulse. And as you take damage, every point of damage increases your pulse rate, which increases the potential for you to have more actions as you go through the course of the game. The invaders are the demon bad guys. They have health points, move value, a melee damage, and a range damage, depending upon where they are associated to in the room. Now, the actual room itself, the room setup, is going to have several different pieces. There's walls, there's a special element like a console, and when you enter the room, first you see which room you've entered. And each of the rooms has its own layout, which are predetermined. So you're never going to play through the same rooms the same way. And as you do things, as you enter different rooms, the layouts will be different. So what you could have a console, a locked crate, D3 barrels. Barrels are exactly what you think they are. They're like Doom. You can blow them up and it kills stuff nearby. And then special rules for like the engine room, special rules for med bay, and you'll roll to see if you're using A or B layouts. So even if you go to the same room, the layout might be different every time you go through. And then you've got finally the cryo chamber, the corridor, the nav bridge, and the escape pod. And so the order that you interact with these in and where you finally get to the escape pod will be different every time you play through it. So when you activate your pulse, you can do a number of actions. Those actions can be like moving, shooting, or evading. And if you evade, you get a token that you can use to cancel enemy damage. And then when you roll your survival, your dice that aren't a 4+, so every 4+ allows you to have an action from your pulse. Every 1 to 3 in the current edition of the rules, that may change, allows the bad guys to have an action, right? So depending on what you roll, it gives the demon an action as well. And so like if the demon does something, then you resolve your actions for the demons after you go. So first you get to go, then the demons get to go, and the demons will basically act as much or as little based upon what your pulse roll is, which is an interesting mechanic. So again, the tension goes up as you get damaged, so does your ability to act, but so is the potential for the demons to jump on you too. And because it's so quick and brutal and each room could result in your death, you can either Dark Souls it and like respawn in the same room and try again, or you could, and like hopefully have learned like how to get out of this room and what the best like maybe like tactic is, or you go all the way back to the beginning and permadeath and start over and try and do another run. So games take between, I would say like 1 to 2 like minutes to set up, maybe 10 to 15 minutes per room to play through. And if you get through all 6 rooms, you're looking at probably an hour to an hour and a half to do it in complete run. So when you're setting the room up again, you have your predetermined maps. You'll roll to see where the demons spawn and what they are. They could be anywhere. So if you roll a spawn on a 1, they're behind you. On a 2, attack spawn is either a shot bull or a pair of imps. And then also you can have shrieks. So there's 3 different like types of demons you can do. And they all just basically do a certain amount of damage unless you're dodging or evading. So when a demon ends either next to you and it does melee damage, you get to roll a number of dice to try and equal to the damage to try and evade it. Every 6 will allow you to evade it. That may change too. If you have a dodge token, you can cancel damage by spending the evasion token. You can use that to automatically like get rid of it. So when dealing damage to a target that has an evasion token, the first point of damage is just automatically evaded, and the token's removed. So if you take 2 damage from something that's dangerous and you've got an evade token, you will automatically get one of those taken off and only take 1 instead. Now, anytime you successfully dodge an attack, keep the 6 and place it to one side. If during a single round the survivor manages to accrue 3 6s, they can unleash the number of the beast. So there's like a Super Saiyan mechanic too, where you like Hulk out no matter how much damage you do, because every time you take damage on a 6, you block it. So see, if you get to 6 6 6 in Demon Ship, then you can unleash the number of the beast. And after all actions have been resolved, the survivor can immediately perform any 3 actions, spending each 6 as they do so. These actions do not move over into the demon pool and are cleared after they're resolved. Then the survivor can begin accruing 3 6s once more each round. So your action pool of dice is allowing the demons to go. And then as soon as you get 3 6s, though, you get a bonus phase basically up to 3 actions by spending those 6s. And you can spend 1 too if you want, and then come back and try and refill it again to get more later on. You can have cover. There's rules for testing to like interact with consoles and stuff like that. There are some like status effects too, like being cold, being on fire, the darkness where you can only see like 2 things away. And that's the core mechanic. So you're trying to get to the escape pod and get away, and it has a really interesting like push-pull mechanic between your actions and the demonic actions, right? Now the consoles themselves are a space on the grid. The barrels can explode. They explode and then catch on fire. Barrels targeted by range attacks explode and catch on fire. And then doors take up a space in the grid, but the survivors and demons can share the space with the door, and you interact with them to either come or go if you've arrived. Crates may change, but right now crates do damage to you or are locked, but if you find crates in a room, they can also give you super slugs to make your blast action stronger. Style soda, which gives you the next dodge action, provides 2 evasion tokens, and a health stem that provides 2 healing. And then your invaders, imps, are 2 hit points, move 3, and 2 damage. Soldiers are ranged attack, 3 hit points, move 2, and 2 damage ranged. And then shot bulls are ranged and melee attackers, and they have 5 hit points of the big guys. And they're move 2, range 2, and melee 3. So yeah, that's the core mechanics. And it all fits into 26 pages and was super fun to play. The terrain is really cool. I'm going to link it all in the description below. And I think this kind of game has tons of potential. I love that Malev made this, and I'm excited to see where he finally lands. He's just kind of fine-tuning with the playtest right now, so you can check it out on Discord, how he's gonna like drop the rules. I have so many ideas for making this. I'd like to do like a Dead Space version. I'd like to do like a Doom 95 version. Like there's so many ways you could make a fun map for this game and theme it to different like properties. You could do aliens obviously super easily. I I have so many miniatures I'd like to, like I have an Isaac Clarke miniature, so I'm like very tempted to do Dead Space. But you can even make this like escape from like an underground lab and do like Resident Evil style stuff. There's so many things you could do with this concept. And then I'm excited, I hope Malev does a whole series of these, because I can see this being fun for fantasy games. I can see it being fun for modern games. Like there's a bunch of like bottle episodes of a TV show room ideas to like try and get to like an end state where you escape. You know what I mean? Like a bit like a House on Haunted Hill style thing. You could do a whole Scooby-Doo thing. You could do a slasher movie thing, like with Don't Look Back. Like there's a ton of legs to this premise. I've never seen it done before in this way. Materialistically, and I think that it has such an interesting like gimmick of it's an episode in a room and how many rooms you can travel, like a Silent Hill thing you could do. Yeah, you can tell my brain's going everywhere. So I'm excited for Malev. I think it's a really cool core concept. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Obviously, when he's got his final rulebook done, I'll do the Let's Play then. But I saw this at Adepticon. I thought it was really cool and I wanted to share it with you. So if you want to get on the beta, you want to check out the rules, go check it out on Discord. Again, I'll link it, but you can, if you could do something with that QR code, you could do it that way too. And go hang out with Malev because he's an awesome guy. And you'll hear him soon, actually on Tabletop Insider, which is my new podcast about the people that make your games, and he's one of them. So really exciting for him. I'm excited for him to do his first game, and I'm going to be staying tuned when it comes out, and you should too. So big thanks for watching. We'll see you for more GMG reviews. Till then, I'm Ash. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching. It really does help out, and happy gaming.